I'm Sean Prager from the University of California at Riverside, and this year I'm talking about sampling in a large area. Most of what we think about when we think about sampling for potato psyllids is sampling in potatoes, and that's because, of course, zebra chip is a huge problem in potatoes, and we grow mostly potatoes in Texas. However, in California, where I'm from, we grow hundreds of thousands of acres of tomatoes and tens of thousands of acres of peppers, which are also affected by the psyllids and can also host the psyllids. And so, in the context of California, and even in Texas, you have to think about these things slightly differently, which is you have to look at the other crop fields where the psyllids can be. And that's because the psyllids may be moving between the crops, and it's because the psyllids are a problem on their own to those other crops. And so a large portion of what I'm talking about is how you can look for these psyllids in different crops and how that's different when you're looking at different crops. So can you use the same techniques in one as another? Can you use the same numbers when you make your decisions about how to tend to your crops, how to manage them? Do they move between them? If you find a lot of psyllids in one crop, in tomatoes, do you have to worry about your pepper plants? A lot of organic farmers grow these things right next to each other. And then I'll talk a little bit, and one of the things that we really have to start looking at is the ability of the psyllids to move around between crops and different plants. We talk a lot about how they can live on different plants, but we know a lot less about their ability to actually use those plants and their propensities to do so. So just because you like tomatoes, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll move to tomatoes if they have potatoes. And all of this affects how you manage the different plants and how you apply your pesticides and when you apply your pesticides and if you apply your pesticides. And then I'll probably conclude by talking about different sampling plans that we've designed and management plans that allow growers to look into their different fields of potato or tomato or pepper and make economically and disease-related intelligent decisions so they don't spray when they don't have to, and so that you don't go too far before spraying. And they're specific to the different crops so that you know how to handle one crop versus another, and also potentially so that if you have neighboring fields of something that can host these psyllids, you can manage those as well.